Hello and welcome to yet another video here on the YouTube channel SCF Wargaming Studio. My name is Andreas Norwegian Viking and this is a recap from the live Warhammer TV Q&A with Adam, Troke and Clare, which went live earlier today. So as you can see, I'm not at a studio, I am not in my SCF uniform as it were. I'm in a Dalek t-shirt and I just got off work. It's been quite a hectic day. But I still want to give this out to you guys as soon as possible because although this is information that anyone can access, it is a bit of hard to do with Twitch, the Warhammer Twitch channel being a subscribed service. We have to pay $4.99 a month to gain access to all the videos after they have been live. So obviously I believe that information should be free for everyone, and that's why I do this video, a recap of everything that was said. No plug videos or nothing like that. I don't take their copyrighted materials. I just recap what they say in the on the stream. So as I said, Jay and Adam was on the stream, interviewed by Ciri, and they had quite a few questions straight down the line from the commenters, but they went through a couple of other things first. So they start off with a kind of an answer to a question I had a few months ago, which was when they did the Orlok announcement video for Necromunda. Both Adam and Jay were on the release video as games designer and rules writer. So they did say that they are working on other projects that the Specialist Games division is working on when they do have the time or when they need to do it. So, so obviously that means they are doing other stuff for Games Workshop and not just Middle-earth. So that's cleared out, wonderful. And then they go straight to Battle Companies, which has been for them a huge success. The rulebook for Battle Companies is currently out of production. Well, not out of production, but it is out of stock in both Europe and the United States, I believe. So that means we are going to see a reprint of that as the book is solid, and I do guess that we will get more support in White Dwarf. And this is, of course, my opinion. Nothing they said about future releases in White Dwarf bar Battle Companies, but we are still missing a few things I think that they have alluded to down the line. So Adam had an interesting comment, which was that he is reading a very interesting book, which is work-related. And if I'm a speculative man, which I am, I will say that this is the new rulebook. He is reading and reading and reading the new rulebook to find errors or find stuff that isn't working or stuff like that. So, which means that the rulebook probably is a bit later on than we originally thought. I have been banging on about this book coming out in May, June, July, which probably will be a bit later since it's probably not printed yet. So so yeah, but we'll talk more about the new rulebook coming down the line. So then they talk a bit about the GBHL. GBHL itself gets a huge shout out from Jay. And he talks about the league, how it works. Awesome commercial for the GBHL, and if you haven't attended a GBHL event at any point, do go. I fully recommend it. I used to go to Desolation Stockport, Redesolation Stockport, and I've gone to Ardacon all the times Ardacon has been, and I'm going again this August. So I do think that the GBHL is a fantastic group of people and should be supported. So if you are a UK resident and have not yet been to a GBHL supported event, do go to one. It is worth the money and it's worth the travel. So then they talk a bit about the meta, or quite a lot about the meta. For those of you who don't know what a meta is, that is the predominant top table armies at a tournament. So, for instance, Ed Ball always brings his Fell Beasts army, Clare always brings his Lake Towners, so that's kind of their current meta, and you will see the same kind of armies going on top table, or the same themes. So that they talk quite a bit about that, but they specify that Lord of the Rings is maybe the game which has the the least amount of meta of any of the 3 major game systems, that is Age of Sigmar, 40k, and Middle-earth Strategy Battle Game, which will be rechristened to properly very, very soon. And they continuously use "at the moment" quite a lot, the term "at the moment," when they talk about rules and they talk about rules and armies, they say "at the moment," and which again alludes to a new rulebook or new supplements coming soon, which will change up many things, I believe. And again, they say Corsair Reavers are too good. I think they've stated that pretty clearly earlier as well. So I do expect Corsair Reavers to get a nerf, big heavy nerf bat when the new rulebook or the new evil army supplement. I'm not sure again what they're going to do with this, if they're just going to release a rulebook and then a huge book with all the armies or whatever they're doing. But again, more of that later. So then they talk about the big release they're talking about in this video, which was the Mûmak War Leader, which was first shown in picture form at the Throne and Skulls event about a month ago. So they first talk about the kit itself. So in the kit, which will be released from Forge World pretty soon, is a full plastic War Mûmak. You will get the Mûmak War Leader on foot in Forge World resin, as well as a conversion kit consisting of the Mûmak War Leader mounted on the Mûmak, a new trunk, new ears, tusks with spines, and lots of other small bits to put on the Mûmak as well. So that will be available on pre-order from the Forge World website very soon. That was Adam's words, and the rules for this model will be available on the website at the pre-release date, as well as in a future publication. So they talk about the rules as well, or Jay does, that this is a Mahut Beastmaster Plus. So it's not just Mahut Beastmaster, it is something more. So we had a glimpse of his stat line. No fight value was said, but he will have 3 attack, 3 wounds, 3 might, 2 will, courage 6, and he will have a couple of fate points. He will be 400 points. His weapon of choice is a long-bladed spear, which we haven't seen so far in the rules, which is a spear and a 2-handed weapon, all bundled into one. He is riding not a normal War Mûmak, it is a Royal War Mûmak, which has all the fixings you want. So that's gnarled hide, it has the sigils of defiance, it has tusk weapons, and his special rule, so not the Mûmak itself, but his special rule is a 12-inch standfast, as well as a 12-inch deploy. So normally when you deploy a warband, you have to deploy all the models in that warband within 6 inches of the leader of that warband. But with the Mahut Beastmaster, you can extend that to 12 inches. So you can get stuff on foot quite far away from this model, which is quite good. But his most powerful special rule is, of course, the Imposing Presence special rule, which is a 12-inch cancel heroic move option. So the first time each turn that a heroic move is called within 12 inches of the Mahut Beastmaster, or Mahut War Leader in this case, you roll a die. On a 4+, that move is cancelled. They still spend the might point, and you cannot use might point to extend that 3+ to 4+, or something like that. But might is still spent. So it's quite a powerful rule, and I think this is very thematic to the movie itself, because this is what he does. Theoden stands there in fear while Eomer charges forwards. So it's quite a cool rule. And it instantly got a nickname as well. It's not a Mûmak, it's a Beefcake Mûmak. So, so the commenters had some fun about that. So going into more obscure stuff now. So this is not something they talked about in very clear terms. This was more dodging small stuff. So, yeah, they said that this year is going to be a huge year for Middle-earth SPG, and they said to keep being patient, which again makes me think that the rulebook is not when we expect it to be, but a bit later on. So I'm thinking now Archon release. That's what I immediately think now. A big Archon release for Archon, which is 17th, 18th, and 19th of August in Manchester. So either this will be on pre-sale that day or released on that day, because if it's available so close to the event, I can't see that they will change the rules pack for this event to include the new rulebook. So yeah, there was a bit of interesting points regarding the Unexpected Journey book, which is still out of print, so that is permanently out of print currently. So there was a question, how do I get into the game? How do I get the rules with the book being out of print? So Adam immediately say, well, there is no way to buy the book currently, so buy the box set instead, which has a full rulebook. Download the Heroes and Villains of Middle-earth and you'll get the full rulebook, bar the scenarios in it. But a remedy is in the pipeline, which of course is the new rulebook, but they don't give a date for it. They just say in the pipeline. They also said that they are working on several books. This was in the throwback comment, that they're working on several supplements at once. And Jay says that good times are indeed coming. So that is wonderful. They speak a bit about a comment related to the Amazon TV show. So there is no official news regarding the GW license to the Amazon TV show for Lord of the Rings, which is not surprising at all. I think there's going to be a long wait until anything is produced for the TV show. There's still no director to this TV show. They really don't know. They just have acquired the license for a huge amount of money, and they have stated that they will pay roughly $1 billion. That's $1,000 million on 5 seasons of this TV show, which is incredible. So I'm really hoping that they will just strike this project out of the ball and GW will get the license for it, and hoping that Weta Workshop will in some part be attached to the project as well, because then you'll get the same aesthetic of the different bundles. Battle Company's book is being reprinted. I said that earlier on because it's rock solid and doesn't need any tweaks. But interestingly, the accessory kit will be reprinted, but not immediately, and there will be some tweaks. So I believe that this will be released alongside the new rulebook with tweaks from the new rulebook inside there. We all already know tweaks will be implemented in the rulebook with the rumours of changes into the monstrous brutal power attacks. You also have changes into certain actions, and I believe there will be even more changes into the new rulebook as well. So I think this will be quite a hefty change from the accessory kit, but that wasn't what was promised when the kit was released earlier on, which was that this will be a kit which would be compatible with new releases, which is probably not the case at this point. And lastly, they talked a bit about the Quest to Mount Doom, which is the new board game. They say that is great fun. No release date, no mention of where you can get it, when it will be released. But it will be a party game. You pick one of the members of the Fellowship that has some special rules. You try to get the ring to Mount Doom before everyone else. So quite a cool game. I haven't talked about it on the channel before. So it will feature the new, the old plastic Fellowship sprue in gold. Not gold as the material, but just spray painted, well, casted in plastic, but in gold colour. Just like the Stormcast Eternals on the quick release box set, I think. So yeah, more news will be available at Warhammer Fest, which is the 12th to 13th of May. And I do expect to see more stuff there, and at that point probably both the Mûmak War Leader and the Goblin Mercenaries and Captain box set will be released at that point. And they've plugged Warhammer Fest quite a bit, and I do expect them to be publicating some huge release at that point. necessarily released at that point, but they will have a seminar there, and they will probably plug that event quite a lot, because there's no 40k book, rulebook coming out, probably not a 2nd edition Age of Sigmar book coming out, so I do expect them to do as they did with 8th edition 40k at Warhammer Fest, which will be Middle-earth strategy battle game, the rulebook. You can try it out and stuff like that. That is my expectation. Nothing they said on the stream implies that at all. So that is my speculation. So that is the quick recap of this Warhammer TV stuff. If you are a subscriber to their Warhammer TV service on Twitch, you can rewatch every video they have published. But again, be sure whenever there is a release on the Twitch stream, which has some kind of featured content from Middle-earth, I will be there to give you that information for free. So thank you guys for watching. Until next time, I've been Andreas, Norwegian Viking, and this has been the recap from Warhammer TV live on Twitch. Please comment, like, share and subscribe. Consider supporting STF on Patreon using the link in the description below. And as ever, support your hobby.